I'm Big Lou Barbecue and other things I want to do. And let me tell you what I did. When I first started my channel nearly 2 years ago now, I cooked a picnic shoulder on my Weber Kettle using the snake method. And that was the only third picnic shoulder I'd ever cooked. But before that, I didn't buy them much because you're paying for the skin and that big old bone. But I knew at the time that big old bone was going to make a much better stock than the little blade bones in a pork butt. And I've since found out some things to do with the skin. I like to render out the lard and get some half-decent cracklings out of it. So I save the skin and I make lard and cracklings with it. And I use that soup bone, that big old bone in the picnic shoulder for making stock, and that goes good in jambalaya, gumbo, stuff like that. Anyway, I used the snake method in that early video and it worked out well. I tried not to wrap that one, and it took forever. Usually, you know, you wrap it the Texas crutch type thing. Last week I cooked one with my Weber Kettle, but now I've got that Slow N Sear device from Adrenaline Barbecue Company. It's the older model, but it works great, and man, it came out well. And instead of wrapping it in aluminum foil, got another plan, all right? We're not going to go the whole way with it completely naked, but we got another plan with it. All right, so let me show you how I prep the picnic shoulder and what I put on it and all, and then we'll go through the cook. I did this exact same cook last week. You can see what it looked like with some a claw review I did, but I want to do it again and show you how I did it. So come along, let me show you how I prep this picnic shoulder. Well, this is what the picnic looks like, skin and all. I'm gonna put bear's rub on it in a little bit and some Cajun pig stand basting sauce. That's the garlic butter version. I don't care for that as much as the original, but I'll tell you more about that later. Flip the picnic over, and right there where that skin's connected on the back, I start with a sharp knife. I use my fish fillet knife for this. Works real well. I try to angle the blade up toward the skin and away from the meat so I don't cut too much meat. But as I cut it away, I just peel it back with the other hand, all right? And don't go too fast. Don't cut yourself, because a fillet knife is pretty sharp. But if you don't cut towards you, sometimes you can't cut at all, you know. I just keep peeling it back. Now, I like to pull it off of these picnics nowadays. My original one, I left it on, but I like to pull it off. I like these picnic shoulders too. Like my buddy Ken at a Heavy Metal Barbecue says, when you make pulled pork with a picnic shoulder, it tastes a little bit more like ham, and I think he's absolutely right. I'll have a link to his channel down below. All right, once I get the skin pulled off, it looks like that, and I'm going to use that for some cracklings and lard. So I take the picnic, and then I take a larger knife, and I'll just start cutting some cubes in there, crosshatch cube-like things in there. Not too deep, no deeper than ½ an inch, if that deep. But I do it on all 6 sides of the picnic. I'll cut that little flab of fat off there. It doesn't need to be there. And then just keep cutting these cubes in there. And what that's going to do is allow that more surface area for that rub to get in there, help the meat fall apart a little bit when I pull it. And I got that idea off the Bear's bottle right there, the can of the Bear's rub. He says to do that with a pork butt, and works well with the picnic shoulder too. All right, so I got excited about using the Bear's. Bear's sent me the rub again, and to use here on my YouTube show, and I really enjoy it. But I had forgot to put the basting sauce on first. Now, Bear's recommends just using water and Worcestershire as a binder, but I like that basting sauce, so I'll go ahead and put it on there, and we start putting that Bear's on there. Now, you notice that green-brown color? That's because it's very savory. You see, a good rub has the 4 S's: the salt, the spice, the sweet, and the savory. And Bear's starts with the savory, all right? And then the salt and the sweet come later. It doesn't have very much sugar, and it doesn't have very much salt in it. So doctor says that's better for me. So anyway, I like to use it, and I'm glad Bear sent it to me. I'll leave a link to where you can get Bear's rub online down below. Just click the show more section. Let's get the grill thrill on. All right, with the Slow N Sear, I'm going to put 3 or 4 coals down in the corner right there. I'm going to pull out one of these Rutland fire starter squares. I buy those at Tractor Supply. They're inexpensive and effective. You get about 2 dozen for $2.50, and they work really well. So I just drop the lighter down there and let it go. I pile 3 or 4 coals on top of it, and I'm going to pile about 3 or 4 coals on the bottom. So I've got 10 to a dozen coals there in the corner. And once they get lit, we're going to go ahead and pour in the rest and put the water in. All right, the coals are just about ready. I'm pouring in some hot water.
into the trough. Pour hot water in. Oops, I missed. Takes about 1 liter. Says a quart, but I've checked it. It's metric. It takes 1 liter. Right there. All right. Now you know it was hot because you could hear it sizzle on that aluminum foil. Now, a Weber chimney holds about 80 briquettes. That's royal oak on top, but that's Kingsford just underneath it. The last of a bag of Kingsford. There's the Kingsford. There's the royal oak. And, oh gosh, don't want that in there. And so we're just going to dump it all in here. Holds about 80 more briquettes if you don't have a Weber chimney. Even on top. Get in there. So as you can see, most of this is Kingsford if you're picky. I'm not picky. You know how I'm picky about charcoal? Whichever's cheapest and on sale. That's how I roll with it, all right? Whatever's cheapest and on sale, as long as I know it's a decent quality charcoal, I'll get it. So we're gonna put some oak wood chips in here. Most of it at the beginning side, but you can put some at the end too. Make sure this is all even, so the grate will sit even. I just used the old cheap grate that came with the grill. I've had it about 2 years, it works. Got some aluminum foil down there, if I haven't mentioned that yet. And now I'm gonna cover it up. We'll talk about the vent setting, and then we'll put the meat on. All right, my Slow N Sear is climbing, but it's not up to temp yet. But I know where it's about where it needs to be. All right, now if you got one of these real kettles, not one of the new fancy ones with the ash catcher, you can reach right under here, okay, and feel the vent. And what I do is I just reach under there, put my hand there, and when that vent starts to pinch my finger, just pinch it just a little bit, not where it hurts, not where it's caught, but where I can feel that vent closing, so that I got just about that much. So I just reach right under here, feel the vent, usually just do it one hand, and it starts to pinch my skin. And I mean, I don't know if you can see that little mark right there, but it starts to pinch my skin. Yeah, my hands are greasy. You can use gloves if you want to, but that bottom of the bowl is not going to get hot during this whole cook, okay? So I just feel the vent where it pinches it, and I know just a sliver is where I want those vent settings. All right, now these, I want just a sliver open, maybe just a quarter, about like that. Well, I've checked the temperature. It's approaching 225. It's actually about 223 when they went ahead and opened the lid. But the picnic roast is out here. It's time to put it on there. And I know that the temperature is going to settle out. So let's get this picnic roast. Just set it on there. Remember, I did line the bottom with aluminum foil. Cover this back up. Actually, I got to put the probe in it. So let's get that done. Put the probe in here. I like to put it right down by the bone. And I'm hitting the bone right there, so there we go. That's about where we need it to be. Plug it in. Make sure wires are all out of the way. Look at that. All right. Oh yeah, looking great. We're gonna baste it. We're about 2 hours in, and we're just gonna baste it with this sauce again. Cover it back up and let it go. All right. 162-ish, it's about time for stage 2. All right, that's right about where my digital thermometer was. I don't think these things are as inaccurate as many people say. All right, Slow N Sear is looking good, but I don't want to leave the top off too long. I'm not wrapping it. Not in aluminum foil. I like doing it this way. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna let that get hot there on those coals for a minute. And I'm gonna spray, well, you know what? That's not spraying. Dead nabbit. So you know what we're gonna do? More than two ways to baste a picnic. Just put that right down there in the bottom like that. Been in the refrigerator anyway. You can see it's starting to get hot. All right. Instead of wrapping it in aluminum foil, did blasted alarm. I had to turn two of them off. I had one on my neck too. All right. Oh, they just slide in there easy. This is a old Birmingham stove and range pot. I believe I found it in the yards in a, I need to turn that around, guys. Hold on. Do that again. Well, you know what? We'll just pull that out. Stick it in there under here like this. If I don't hit the bone, right there alongside the bone like that. All right, and let that come out that side. Anyway, it's an old Birmingham stove and range pot, I do believe. And I got it in a barn find. I got it for free, cleaning out somebody's barn years ago. But I didn't have a lid for it. This Lodge lid fits, but it doesn't have that little lip. But that's okay, because you know what that means? That's where the thing can come out. Now this picnic's a little too tall, but that's not gonna hurt a thing. As it cooks down, that pot lid will fall down on top of it. But that's what I'm gonna do instead of wrapping it in aluminum foil. If you don't have a cast iron pot, you can use aluminum foil. All right, cover it back up. Let it go a few more hours. All right, well, at 184, you can get it to pull, but it's gonna be a little tough. I want it more tender than that. And I want it at 200. I also want to eat. So, I started stirring these ashes around here with these coals. And I'm just gonna kind of kick some of the ashes down, kick these burning coals over, and try to get them all into a big pile here in the center. I want to stir the ashes, fall down, and the burning coals right there in the center, and I'm gonna set the pot right on top of it as if it's a stove. And we're just gonna pot roast cook it till it's at 200. All right, got most of the ashes stirred out of it. Let's just bump this pot right over there. Like, I remember it's at about 184. We want it at about 200. Well, it's been about 45 minutes since I put the pot right over the coals, and it's at 200. So I'm going outside to get it. It's a little dark out there, so next time you see me, we'll be in the kitchen. All right, well, it's rested a little bit. That's what it looks like. Look at that bone just come out of there. Oh gosh, look at that. Still hot. Still hot. By the way, don't throw these away. You can, they're great for making stocks. That's why they call them soup bones, okay? Freeze it if you're not gonna make the stock when you have it. Freeze it, and when you need pork stock, smoked pork stock, great. Jambalas, gumbos, whatever. All right, wonderful. All right, I'm gonna slide this to the side. Put this here. And pull this out. It's not even coming out in one piece. Not even coming out of the pot in one piece. Trying to get it all out of the pot just off camera here. And it's not even coming out of the pot in one piece, y'all. Look at that. All right. Let's see. Smoke ring evidence on the Slow N Sear. There you go. All right, a lot of fat on that cap. Let me get this all pulled up. Look at that. Just look. Golly. Picnic shoulder smells good. And I just cooked another butt on another grill. That video will be out too. My buddy Ken's right. This has a little bit more of a ham flavor than the butt does. All right, there's the other part of the bone. I'll get it pulled up, show you what it looks like. Okay, here it is all pulled up. Fat pieces out of it. Watch for bone pieces if you're making pulled pork with a picnic. I really am beginning to like it. Like I said, when I started this YouTube channel, I had not cooked too many picnics before, but I'm actually enjoying doing it. I enjoy the what I do with the skin, get a little lard out of it for cooking some other things, and I like the soup that you get at the stock you get from the bone, and I like the flavor of the picnic. Hey, I did the same cook last week, and you can see that picnic shoulder in a little review I did of some metal claws. The reason I used the plastic claws on this is I think they shred a little bit finer, and I wanted you to know this was a different cook. But I did it last week and thought I should have videoed the whole cook. This is a really good thing, and it's saved me money on aluminum foil. All right, so hey, Slow N Sear went for almost 9 hours, and this pulled pork's delicious. So got to try a little bit more of it. Make me a sandwich, throw in some Alabama white sauce. My wife made some up earlier. It's gonna be good. Gonna be good.